Hi guys, it's Krista, and today I'm going to do my devotional on salt. And I know that we know that we're the salt and light, and I know that that's a sermon that's been preached, a lesson that we all know, but I kind of want to expand on it just a little bit to bring some context to it. So, have you guys ever made chocolate chip cookies, or any cookie for that matter, and you get to the point where it's asking, the recipe is asking for salt? And I noticed that each time I make cookies with my kids, they constantly ask me, why are we putting salt in the cookies? We want them to be sweet. And I said, well, that's what makes them sweet, is the salt. And I always have to explain to them that it's not a matter of the salt making the cookies sweet. It's a matter of the presence of the salt making the cookies taste sweeter. So as I was preparing what I was going to do my devotional on, I asked the Lord to maybe give me a topic, give me something to speak on. And the next morning he woke me up and salt was on my mind. So I had a feeling that he was giving me this so that I could share. So as many of you guys know, I'm somewhat of a cook, and I tend to use a lot of salt. I use flavored salt, I use Himalayan salt, I use, rock salt, I use just a variety of different salts, and they each have their own function when you cook. So, but basically what salt does is it just adds another dimension of flavor. It enhances the food. If the food is a good quality, it just enhances that flavor of the food, just makes it taste even better. So, but traditionally salt has been used for other things, such as a preservative. Back before we had cold storage, people used salt as a preservative on their meats, and it was basically they were salt curing their food to keep it from spoiling. So, and also in that component, salt has also been used as an antiseptic. It's been used on minor scrapes and just skin abrasions that you might have. If you place salt on that, it will draw out the moisture from that wound, and then it keeps it dry so that no infection can continue to grow. So salt was used as a healing component. So as we look at that and we try to put that into a spiritual context, it's very similar. So in Matthew 5:13, on the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus is telling his disciples, "You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It henceforth good for nothing, and to be cast out and trodden under the foot of men." I studied this out a little, and it's very similar to the uses of salt historically. We're the salt of the earth. We're the flavor of Christ that walks on the earth. But we can only keep that flavor if we have a strong relationship with God, if we have a walking and working relationship with Christ. So he was warning the disciples essentially that, you need to remain my disciple and not a disciple of the world, because if you become a disciple of the world, you're going to lose your flavor. You're going to lose that enhanced flavor that my presence gives your life. So he made us flavorful. He made us pure. His sacrifice on Calvary made us the salt of the earth. So we need to be the flavor in the world that helps develop a hunger for Christ in other people. Have you ever tasted food and it was just a little bland? It was absent of just that extra thing to make it tasty, like mashed potatoes with butter but not salt. So, and then after you take those mashed potatoes and you just add a touch of salt, and it instantly makes it better. That's what Christ can do to the people that are lost. That's what Christ can still do for us. The moment that we just add that salt to our life, the moment that we add his spirit to our walk, we devour more of what he has for us, our lives will be more flavorful. Our lives will be better. When you look at it, how did your life actually change when you became salt? When did your life change for the better? Did it change for the worse? I can almost speak for all of us when I say it changed for the better. So we know that we need to be the flavor of the world. We know that we need to be what shows other people what they should hunger for. We need to make sure that that hunger is contagious. So we need to live a life that represents what God can do once they add that to their life. I just want to encourage and remind all of us that each day is an opportunity to share the salt and light with people, not just in your world by sharing your word, but share your life, share your walk, share your testimony with people. Let them know, look, I was in a similar situation, but this is what happened when I took it to Christ and when I allowed him into my life to help with that situation. Let your relationship with Christ be what makes others hungry for him as well. So I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I'll see you soon.